Okay. So I was explaining that the standard level 1, it's a 1 week full training where we prepare ourselves for ESD instructor. And that is one part of the training is empowerment self-defense. And then you also have there included 16 hours of impact training, the one that I just explained. Right now, we are starting. So we are up here, and this is where the red point is. And it's entering what we call the level 1A, which is usually 3 days of training. Linela is the one that had like 2 days program of training last week. But that's a specific training for children and youth that we have in schools, which is different from the standard empowerment self-defense training that we do. But it's a good basis. It's great that you, Tamsin, have the background with Taekwondo and self-defense. Lina, I don't know if you've had any sessions of empowerment self-defense with Gohar or no? Have you participated?
Yeah, I participate.
Wonderful. Great. So you do also have an idea. And Catalina, you said you've been with Daniela. So the four of you are familiar. And that's why the group is so small. And that's why we did do this online now, because it's not that you're coming from zero experience. So this will be useful for you just to understand this. Where do we stand? Why we do the things the way we do, so that it helps you connect in a very quick way. Besides the level 1 trainings, we have the seminars, which you will participate, and then the process continues. We have mentoring, which continues after the training, and I am glad to respond and be your mentor for as long as you need it. We have also trainings that we do online, and I will share some links with you for the physical techniques. These are some online sessions that my colleague Anat has, another ESD instructor, has facilitated. So it's always a learning process, and what we've been working on is to find a way to meet in person, to do trainings online, to keep in touch via email or WhatsApp or whatever it is, so that we continue exchanging information. I might have some information, but I'm sure you have also a lot of experience that can be useful to us. And that's the beauty and the way a network works, right? So that we nurture each other. Um, to become an ESD instructor, I always want to encourage the ones that don't have martial arts experience, that you can always learn. We have different profiles that have learned and are today ESD instructors, and it is an ongoing process. So many people who had zero clue when it comes to martial arts, after becoming a ESD family, they decided to practice Krav Maga or to sign up for an Aikido class or something else. But it has been like that. So your profile, if you have the passion for it and if you have the will to learn, that's the basis, and you can always learn and grow as a professional. So we have martial arts, we have yoga teachers that have been joining our ESD community. You can learn through our ESD community. We have groups that are on Facebook, on WhatsApp. We have the social media pages. The mentoring process or peer-to-peer learning has been very valuable in terms of learning. The conferences or events that have been taking place, and also participating in trainings such as, like what we said, like Lina going to Gohar's classes, or if Tamsin, you have been collaborating somehow with Maya at some point. Like these are also very good experiences that help you grow as a trainer or as an instructor. you probably know this by now, but just like very briefly, that ESD is different from disciplines such as martial arts or traditional self-defense. So what is empowerment self-defense? It's useful, practical, holistic, empowering, inclusive, fun, and sensitive to culture and tradition. So we cover the whole spectrum of violence. We teach all genders, all ages, adapting our method to the specific group we are working with, of course. We work for prevention. We use ESD also for healing, because Lina, you said you are in the sexual assault center crisis. So it's a tool that can be used for different target groups. And holistic also because it touches upon mindfulness, communication skills, physical skills, asking for help or for support, providing help or support, awareness. So these are all pieces of the method that through games, through discussions, through action, exercise, body work, etc., we cover all that in our sessions. The impact personal safety is also an empowering methodology. It is adrenaline based. It's a deep and comprehensive learning experience because of the simulated fights with a padded instructor. So you have usually male, but not only padded instructors who help us to play certain scenarios. At the beginning, these scenarios are like well designed and we choose the scenarios for the participants. But as the class advances, because it's 16 hours, then the participant will be choosing the scenario and the participant will use all the techniques we've taught them full power on the padded instructor who plays the perpetrator. And that helps because the padded suit, it's not only for protecting the instructor, but also deassociates the instructor from the character he's playing. So it's very important psychologically, and that's why it becomes very much high in the adrenaline. The body doesn't know that this is a play, that this is a role play. So the skills we practice in impact are the closest thing we have if these were situations were real, you know? So this is like, it's really very, very strong experience, and participant cannot find any similar thing like to this experience. In black, you see the colors. Empowerment self-defense is different from martial arts, from traditional self-defense, from nonviolent communication, although there are elements that we use from these, but it's not the same. And it's a strong division between our method and the others. I will be able to pass the slides if you like, so I will just continue with the presentation. Okay, so the system itself, what we have it designed for, this is like the method as we use it, it's about 45 years old as a method. It started from the women martial artists who were concerned that girls usually would start practicing martial arts, but by the age of adolescence, like between 13, 16, they would drop the practice and they would focus on other stuff. And so the women instructors were concerned and were like, okay, what can we give them? So before they leave, they are going to leave, but what can we give to them so that it's useful for their life? It doesn't matter if they have a blue belt or a purple or a black belt. What matters is what skills do they have to prepare them for what's coming. So that's how it started. And now the good thing is that we have ESD for all genders, but the base is method to avoid danger and reduce the intensity of the conflict, a method to increase confidence in participation in social and economic systems, to enhance self-efficacy in problem solving, develop physical self-defense skills, and address the violence most likely to occur in individual settings. Typical school, home, workplace, the day-to-day situations that we find, and not just the dark alleys like traditional self-defense trainings do. So that is why this is different, because from the beginning it was thought for the day-to-day situations. It was initially thought for the girls and the women. And now it has more modules that are like, we have instructors that are specialized in teaching ESD to people with limited movements or disability. We have others that are specialized in teaching ESD to elderly or to LGBT groups. So you can profile and you can focus, or survivors of human trafficking or survivors of gender-based violence. So it depends what's your interest, and you can specialize for a particular group like, or children, etc. Again, a few points like what's the system based is in understanding the history, psychology, patterns, and underlying causes of violence. So that's what we have in our background. Develop awareness and confidence in personal strength and intelligence. We work in small groups so that cohorts can support and protect each other physically, economically, and socially. And that is something that we work a lot is in awareness and in forming a good network for the women, especially for the participants that we work with, and building community and advocating to address violence throughout the community. What is achieved with empowerment self-defense? There is, in particular, the University of Oregon. I would recommend their website if you want to have a look, because there is a lot of research there, a lot of documentation that that indicates the achievements when using empowerment self-defense. And so the ESD training reduces likelihood of rape, victimization, or other types of attack by 50%. There is a lower likelihood of experiencing depression or alcohol abuse, that 46% are more likely to finish school, and that 52% have used skills to stop an assault on another person. So there is also a lot of research that has been regional, like there is research from Canada for universities, there is other for Africa, there is other for Europe. We have also done our research in Albania when we piloted this in schools, and the indicators are very high when it comes to the rate of success, the impact that ESD brings in a community. The research indicates that it is the most effective tool to prevent violence compared to other actions that are taken. The traditional one is raising awareness through distributing flyers or these big posters in a city, etc., or going and talking to students or going and talking to groups in certain communities. But this is like action, and by this we train body and mind how to really respond in different situations, but playing scenarios and challenging the participants with making their own choices. And that's why it's empowering, because we don't give recipes like do this, do that. We give options so that they can choose depending on the context, where the situation is happening, who is the person in front of them, what's the relationship, what are the risks, etc., so that the person can choose, because there are no situations that are the same. No two situations that are the same. Let me put this here. The 5 principles of ESD, you are maybe familiar with them by now. If you're familiar, just thumbs up so that I know how to use my time. So it's think, yell, run, fight, and tell. And by that, the principal thing, it's for us to be present in the moment, be mindful. How do we pay attention not only to the information we receive with our mind, process in our mind, but also how to listen to our intuition. And that will help us to make an assessment of the situation and then know what actions do I want to take? What options do I have? What can I do? Yell is the second principle, and that is not only yell literally, but how to use our voice, how to speak up, stand up for ourselves, or stand up for others. How can we be calm or express our boundaries as clearly as possible? How to work with our body language. So all that it's under principle yell. The third principle is run, and that means literally get away, but it also means how to leave and when to leave an uncomfortable situation, keep distance, de-escalate. What helps us to prevent, to detain, or to stay away from a situation that is not comfortable for us. Principle 4 is fight, and there we have the physical resistance, how to use the hard parts of our body against the vulnerable targets. We talk about principles when it comes to physical techniques. We teach techniques that are not very demanding technically, because under situations of stress or when there is a lot of adrenaline, our fine motor skills are not at our best. So that's why all the techniques we do are easy in terms of how do you say, using them, because I don't need to do like complicated stuff, it's all very straightforward. And we teach which are the primary targets we're looking for, because what we're looking is targets that are easy to find and easy to cause the impact that I want to cause, with the objective of interrupting the attack that the perpetrator is conducting right now. So that the idea is not to enter into a fight and engage into a fight and beat the other up. The objective is interrupt the dangerous situation that is happening and leave as soon as I can, go to safety as soon as I can. The principle tell is the fifth one. It's very important, especially if we're working with survivors, but not only. And that is for us, for the survivors to heal and share in a safe space with someone they trust and support. So that is, with principle tell, we work with the individuals for them to know how to ask for help and to have the courage to ask for help and find this person of trust. But we are also educating the group of people to be more aware, attentive, and supportive when somebody asks for help to them. So that is like what we are doing in this case. A few things I mentioned already, but the method itself is we train by providing options to identify, interrupt, respond to, and heal from violence through games, activities, and discussions. And we do this within a broader framework of sensitization to injustice at both individual and systematic level. The learning outcomes, focusing on the training course for instructors, this prepares the individuals to teach easy to learn verbal and physical protection tools in order to address and prevent violence. So what is important to mention is that for each instructor, the idea is to use the personal strength, knowledge, experience, so that you are not necessarily looking to copy another instructor, because each of us has a different experience, different profile. As I said before, you live in a different country, work with different target groups, but the idea is that we have the same basis, we have the same standards, understanding, We give the basic tools to the people we work with, but you look what your strengths are, what your experience is, and then you come up as your best instructor possible in order to work with the target groups that you have identified. And that is why mentoring is good, because it guides you, but at the end of the day, you make the choice, like where do you want to focus? We have ESD instructors that have focused, for instance, on communication skills more than physical skills. And we have others who love the physical part, and maybe 50 or 70% of their class is just physical techniques. And that's your choice, depending on what is the best that you can give to your students. So that is like, don't put yourself into a frame, but consider that you are like gathering information and learning tools and learning skills, but then you will process all that and you will be your version of ESD instructor. And I love that, because this is the freedom that the ESD method gives you, and it has enabled us to make it more accessible to different groups in different regions, in different communities. Talking about different groups, I wanted to share this photo with you. So as you see here on the top, you have ages. This is 5 to 7, and then the last one is above 18, above 17. So this is how we kind of change the intensity of techniques we share or information we share with the students depending on their age. So when children are little, we start with the items that you read on the top of the list. And then as they go older, we kind of change that, shift that focus, because that's how the priorities change when it comes to situations and also to the development that the individual has. And of course, this can also change if we are working with elderly or with people that have different profiles. But we specialized. And in the seminar, you'll be able to also participate in workshops that are for particular target groups and will be very useful for your formation as instructor. Any questions until now? No? Okay.
No.
All right. Let's continue then. So right now, here is like another chapter that I want to continue. And what we say about ESD, we consider it as a movement. We are a worldwide network. We are organized in regions, but there is ongoing information flow from Australia to North America and so on. So we have been divided just for practical purposes. We've been divided North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. It's the upper part of Asia, and then you have South Asia and Australia together, and we have Europe, that it's our region. However, there is a lot of coordination going on. This started with ESD Global back in 2017, 2018. Then in 2022, ESD Global decided to close the ESD branches in each region and have only one base in the US, and it's still functioning, the NGO called ESD Global. And then out of that, we continued our work. So we have the ESD Europe, which is a network. And right now, we are a small group of people that are more active in terms of coordination and in keeping the network together. But we have around 200, at least 200 instructors in Europe. They are in different countries. I've been lucky because since 2020, this is very new in Europe, okay? We started in 2020. So it's really a short time for something so new. So we are happy what we've done until now, but there is a lot to continue to work on. And we have been training instructors in Czechia, where we had an international group, in Kazakhstan, in Moldova, we had two groups last December. In Croatia, I've been 2 times to teach there, and one of the times was an international group participating. In Spain, it's another country. In Germany, we have a big group of instructors. We have Maya in London. We have another NGO director who has gone through the ESD in London. She's as well. I was there to teach also last year. We have instructors in Austria, in Slovakia is a super strong group, like one of the best we have. In Czechia, there is a good, the NGO, the ESD Czechia is also strong. What countries? We have in Greece a beautiful project working with refugees, the Empower van. Claude has a van and she goes around to refugee camps to teach to refugees. We have in Serbia, in Macedonia, quite a few countries, and we still we need to continue that work. So we connect via, we have a closed Facebook group, we have these seminars when we gather, and all this, it's in order to support each other, exchange information, see what's working, exchange best practices, and be able to continue growing this as a movement. I have there some of the organizations I already mentioned. We have these groups in form of NGO. We have professionals working in an NGO. We have ESD as a business established in one country, or instructors working as freelancers. So depending on what your interest is, you can decide and you can transform it in a business, or you can transform it in a nonprofit work, or you can transform it in a different modality. So depending on what you want to do, me, for instance, if you accept me as your mentor, I can guide you and say, look, if it's for business, this is one person from our network, let's say Linda from Czechia. She has it as a business, so talk to her. She can guide you when it comes to the very technical parts of it. Or if you're interested to work with corporates as your target group, I say, look, I've been working with hotels in Albania, and I can share the experience and share the class plans like I did with another instructor, for instance, in Vancouver. So we are generous in the sharing part, because we've understood how important this is to keep learning and to keep supporting. Like the same way other instructors that were before me helped me to be where I am today. We also have experiences with universities. There is My Power app here, right here. My Power app is a company that has developed an application, and they are testing it with universities. So PAVE as well, it's a US-based business focus using ESD to work with corporates as well. And then, so there are different actors that you can contact with or learn from. Then the last point is the International Association of ESD Professionals. And this is the association that has been setting some standards when it comes to what the ESD as a profession must look like, what can they support us in our business or in our nonprofit work. And also they have established the credentialing exam, which is very important for the credibility for one ESD instructor in terms of standards, in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills we use when teaching. And that is important in order to have new partnerships or new contracts, etc., for teaching. I have here some links that you can find. the ESD Europe, the ESD Global, the Impact Global, and the ESD Professionals. And this is something I would like you to, I'd invite you to check in between sessions. So for this time, after our first session today, I would like you to have a look at the links so that you understand who the main actors are, have a look at the content so that you can get familiar with what we do, how we do it. And then next time we can dig deeper into the pedagogical part, as I said, so that you can look at the content of an ESD class or a ESD program. I will also share with you some links, as I said, for the physical techniques, just to see how our instructors teach them. Those are the basic techniques. So besides the ready stance and general considerations like, for instance, we teach the palm heel strike. We don't teach punching, for instance. Small details like these, but are very important because we assume that we are working with people that have no martial arts background and that are very new to self-defense techniques, so that we work in layers, building layers and preparing them to first get comfortable in their body, and then also become aware how important it is that we can and we have the right to defend our body. You know, it starts from here because we've seen in reality that many groups, especially women and girls that are our priority, don't have this awareness, you know, like they are still concerned and so much hesitating to learn how to strike properly because they're worried that they might harm the perpetrator when the perpetrator is assaulting them, you know. So it starts with the awareness, and then it continues layer by layer. The physical techniques are important not only to equip the participants with the physical skills for a fight, which is one of the objectives, but it also helps so much for their confidence. It really helps their communication skills, so they are more willing to speak up, to stand up for themselves, to say no when they are prepared physically as well, because they know that if the worst comes, they will know how to defend themselves. And usually we have like a recommendation that at least 30% of a session should be physical techniques only. And then you have 30% physical techniques only without counting the warm-up time. And then I will explain next time how do we structure the class and so on. But the physical part is very, very important from this point of view as well. And yeah, so this was the first bunch of information I wanted to share. And the links, I will send them via WhatsApp, but I wanted to also ask that if you prefer to communicate via email or via WhatsApp, what's more convenient for you. And so first, if there are any questions or comments from what I shared until now, and then we continue with some rules that we can establish among ourselves, just some agreements so that we are respectful to the space. These things are killing us, so just to defend ourselves from our mobiles as well. So please feel free to just unmute and make any questions, comment or say something from what I shared until now, like whatever you feel like.
I was just thinking how much lots of what you have said resonates with me in the teaching that I do already. So I sometimes have clients who've had experiences where they've either had abuse in the past or they've been assaulted, And for a lot of them, just physically hitting a pad is a massive step for them. Even the word no, saying no, can be a massive thing for them. So it's so different to the way men are taught self-defense. So yes, lots of what you've said, and Tiana, has really reminded me of the clients that I teach, and it's so important, so important.
Thank you. That's very important. You highlight that because that's in the core of ESD is to have this present, to have this in mind. Yes, and to be like really patient and to be like really empathic with all the resistance that we see in the participants to take that step and to give that strike and to yell no. It's really a challenge for them, and kind of it's like hard to believe or hard to see, but that's why like it's like when we are very kind, like with the little babies, like if they try to walk and they fall and so on, we are like all encouraging, and it's many times is the same, and it's a beautiful process as well because you can also see the change right before and after. It's like wow.
That's
It's
what I
like
was going to
very,
say. Yes,
yeah,
it's very rewarding when you see
very
those
good.
moments and they suddenly go, "Oh my goodness, I've got so much more power than I realized." You know, it's a simple strike, and they suddenly realize their bodies are capable of so much more
Yeah,
than they realize. So yes, very rewarding. Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Catalina.
I want to add to that a little bit. It's absolutely true. I cannot agree more with that. And something that we had a little bit of a training, we did our training with some teenagers at a summer camp in July. And one of our colleagues had a mother in the group that was one of the supervisors for the camp. And the mother was so overpowering. Every time this girl tried to do something, the mother would jump in and correct her and like tell her not to do this, not to do that. So it's not coming from just because women or girls tend to be more shy. It's sometimes how they're brought up. And it was so strange, really. This was amazing to see that this is not coming from the outside. It's coming from the whole core of the family. So
Yes, that's excellent point as well. Thank you, Catalina. I'm sorry about the case, but it's a very good comment because the whole approach that we want to have as instructors is to have a positive teaching method. Like we usually, this is a recommendation we give to all new instructors. We don't want uh, to tell no to the participants. We don't do this or don't do that. We always talk in positive. We give options. Like for instance, even if they are having a wrong stance, like let's say they have, I don't know, something is incorrect in their posture. So we give directly the positive instruction, like make your step wider or make your step smaller, or try striking with the other hand. How does it feel? Does it feel better? Good. Yes. So okay, continue with that. So it's always into positive, not to discourage,
yeah.
because at the end of the day, there is no wrong. It is what works for you best, because sometimes not everybody, for instance, right hand is the powerful one, or it depends like what the body type is or what my strength is and so on. So we give options and then they are able to choose. And this is the essence of empowerment. So we do not put people in frames and say, no, this is wrong, you did it wrong, and so on. And
Yeah, to bring them even more down because they're already unsure of
exactly,
themselves.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, so that
Yeah, and the way you're talking about the saying no, it's also so strange how some people, some girls, they cannot find it in themselves to say this big no. And by the end of the training, the ones that were like the quietest ones finally have found a little bit more of a tone in their voice. It's amazing.
it is very beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
May I add something?
Yes, of course.
as I told you guys in the beginning, that I teach in a high school.
Yeah.
And last year I had not a case, but I can say a student. She was in the third year, and she was hit by her father with a heel here in the head. She didn't come to school for 1 week, and she said, I had an accident. But at the end of the school, at the last exam, I was chatting with her warmly, and she confessed and showed me the pictures of her being hit and staying at home for 2 days with her blood on her head, and it was terrifying. I advised her to go to the police, but she refused. She refused several times. We are a small town, and people do not have the courage to go to the police and say that my father did that or uncle did that. And I don't know, now I'm a bit confused. How can I help the other youngsters to say what are they experiencing at home? Any kinds of abuse, physical, maybe sexual. And this sometimes makes me feel guilty too, because I say, okay, I know the truth and now I cannot do anything to help them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So these situations are really complicated and very tough to handle. And again, the best we can do is offer options and offer support and offer empathy, like so that first of all, she feels comfortable in asking for help, first to you or to someone else, be it police or not, because sometimes when there is I come from a very small town in North Albania, so I am familiar with the context and with all the layers and how hard it's for her to first take the decision to report her father. And the levels of domestic abuse are really high, and these kind of situations are happening every day. So it is a long process, and even if she does not file a report today or these days, the fact that she's thinking about it, that she has become aware that this is not right and so on, will help for her to take that step sooner and not just keep her mouth shut and just wait for it. So there are different ways how to handle it, and not always with the police, I have to say, because of the small town that you were mentioning, because of the stigma, because of the options that the girl has once she has to leave the house. If she's a minor, she would have to go, maybe, not maybe, she would have to go to an orphanage or something, because who will take care of her? So there are many decisions that have to be taken afterwards. So that's why many victims hesitate or refuse to file a report. And it's very hard and heartbreaking to witness these kind of cases. And for you as teachers that know very well what's going on, it's really very, very difficult to handle. And the normal feeling is that you feel guilty, but the responsibility and the guilty is of this of the father of the victim. So he is the guilty one, and what you're doing is you can give your best in terms of offering information, in terms of offering to listen to the girl when she needs someone to talk to, or when you can refer her, because there are protocols in school for such cases. So the professionals have an obligation to report these cases to the police, no matter what the girl says. So if the psychologist of the school or the security officer have this information, they have a legal obligation to report this case. So there are things that you can do with the girl, and there are things that you can do with the professionals that you have in the school. And that's what you can do, you know? But the guilt part, like, to be aware also that is not your part. You can do what you can do at the end of the day. And the colleagues that are in the school have the legal obligation to be proactive and offer help to the girl, and also talk to the father if they cannot report it to the police because it's a higher risk. So there is like always something that one can do, and always what is important is to keep the girl as safe as possible. Yeah.
Can I jump in there?
Thank you.
Yes, yes, of course.
I've worked with victims of domestic violence in the past, and we've run education programs for them, counselling services, things like that. But a lot of them will return to their abuser even after having done all of that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have to just step back and respect that. Certainly in their case, as adults, unfortunately it's their choice. At the end of the day, we have to let them make their own decision. And I know it's not a perfect choice, but for them, we have to respect that sometimes that's the decision that they want to make. And then we're just there if they need you again in the future, or just to keep that line of dialogue open between them for any future incidences. I know it's a bit different with children. You have to be there. There's safeguarding procedures in place which force you to report even without their permission sometimes. I don't know what the laws are like in other countries, certainly in the UK. Every adult has a duty of care towards a minor, and we have to report things regardless of whether we have permission, if it's a safeguarding issue. But yes, when they're adults, unfortunately sometimes you just have to step back and accept that that's the decision that they've made, and then hopefully in the future, when they're ready, they will leave that relationship. It's hard though. It's really hard to see it.
Yeah.
I will add on one last thing.
Go ahead.
I think that this also makes them prone to another domestic violence. For example, if you are violated by your father, this leaves the pathway, let's say, open in commas, for their partner. Because if they accept that from the father, 90% they will accept the domestic violence from the partner.
Yeah, there is research that indicates that there is a very high probability.
So the risk is not really.
Yeah, that's true. And that's part of why through empowerment self-defense, we raise awareness for participants to understand that this is not normal, what's happening in this case, for instance. And although we don't recommend to discuss about the personal experience, like let's say if you have this girl into your group and she's one of the participants and you are teaching empowerment self-defense to her, I'm saying we generally, ESD instructors, would not recommend to discuss her case in the group that you're working with, all right? But having her in a group where you are teaching ESD, it will help her to become more aware of her situation, to become more attentive and able to communicate with the family members, be it to prevent, be it to ask for help within the family or outside the family. So to see more options and to have more tools in how to handle or how to respond when these kind of violent situations, when this kind of violence is happening or before it happens. And it will help for her to have the courage to also report the case later on. So even if she doesn't do it right now or very soon, it will build her confidence to do it in a given moment and to have a proper decision, like what Tamsin was also saying, Yeah. Oh, we lost Lina. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, Linela, and we can talk about it more if you like, separately if needed, the way you like. If there are no
Thank you.
questions or comments, thank you. If there are no other questions or comments, we can, I wanted to have a small list of agreements together, like how you prefer to communicate among us? Like, is WhatsApp okay? I don't send information that's like, how are you? Of course, I'm not going to take your time with that. Only if I send some links or a reminder, hey, we're connecting tomorrow, and that's it. So I am very aware of time and space. But I don't know if that's okay with you, or you prefer to have everything via email. So what do you think?
For me, WhatsApp is the best.
Okay,
I'll
good
read it
for me
quicker.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Whatever
same
the group,
here.
whatever the group
Okay.
decides.
What's up, girls? All right. What's up? Any other points that you would like to mention, like that it will help us? Do you want to have a one-to-one one day before the seminar? Would that be helpful? Just like maybe a week before the seminar, we can have a one-to-one online uh, for whatever comes up, from logistics to like, where do I take a taxi, to I need a class plan. I don't know, anything. But I just need to have to book one day for the four of us, or for the four of you, so that I have 1 hour maximum with each.
I think that would be useful. Yes, it may
Yeah.
not even need to be a whole hour. Just
Yeah, even if it's just 15 minutes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
a quick check-in would be really helpful.
Check in. Okay, check in 1 week before, more or less. I will be in London, I told you, from 1st of October to the 4th of October. Maybe we can meet in person.
Yes, that would be lovely.
Okay, before the seminar. Okay, great. Any other ideas that we can plan, or things we agree, or requests that come up? And I will stop recording, by the way.
I think for me, it would be more helpful. I'll be able to answer that question better after the next session. So I'll have a better idea of methodology and that side of the ESD. And then I might have some questions.
I totally agree with you. You stole the words out of my mouth, really.
Okay, great, fine with me. We can always add things to our list of agreements, so it's okay. And please, if you notice something, really just let me know. My interest here is that I respond to what you identify as needed when it comes to information, and I'm happy to support you through this journey. So really, just like let me know via private WhatsApp message or in the group for all of us. I'll be happy to respond. There is no wrong
you.
question.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if there is nothing else, I see we're finishing 10 minutes earlier. Is that okay with everyone?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
I
so
see there's a message from Lena saying that she's having technical problems,
all right.
why she's unable to connect.
Okay. Okay. So I'll send you the links via WhatsApp, and I'll send you the videos for the physical techniques to see Anat there teaching also via WhatsApp, but not all in the same day. I'll send some today, some tomorrow, so that you don't get overwhelmed.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you. Brilliant.
A beautiful weekend is gone. Evening,
Yes.
and a beautiful week that starts tomorrow. And thank you so much for showing up, and till next
Thank
time.
you. This was great. Yes. The good
Thank you.
start. I love it.
Great.
Nice to meet
Here.
everybody as well. So.
Nice to
Yes.
meet you. Yes. Nice to meet
Have
you.
a great week, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Nice
You
to meet
too.
you all.
Thank you. Nice to
See you
meet
all.
you.
Yeah, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.